Hello students, welcome back to another algebra video. Same thing as usual, your entry task. What do you remember? Try these problems in your notes. Now, typically the what do you remember will be about the last section, the one right before this one. So this video is about 1.2 and the last section was 1.1 where we solved simple equations. So all of these problems will be about simple equations, because that was the video that happened prior to this one. So that's how the entry tasks will go for future videos. So pause the video and try as many of these as you can and see what you can do. Then unpause the video and do it with moi, with me. Okay, so first we have y divided by 3 equals -6. What is the opposite of dividing by 3? Multiplying by 3. So I'm going to multiply. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Multiply by 3. And remember, if I do it to one side of my teeter-totter, I gotta do it to the other. My equation must stay balanced. So if I multiply by 3, that gets rid of that 3. I have y all by itself. And that is equal -6 times 3. Yes. -18. Perfect. Now, remember, you should always check your work to make sure that you got it right. So, if I put -18 back in here, I have -18 divided by 3 equals -6. Well, this is -6, so yes. Yes, that is correct. Okay. We're gonna go through the next ones pretty quickly. So that we have time to get to everything else. So if you're confused about any of these, go back to the last video and review that. We have p plus 3.9. Opposite of plus is minus 3.9. And if I do it to one side, I gotta do it to the other. So minus 3.9 to this side. That goes away. And -6.5 minus 3.9. Oops, -6.5 minus 3.9 is -10.4. So that equal to p. Now you might notice these are going by really quickly. That's because there's only one step. We call these single step equations because it only takes one step to solve them. I just minus 3.9 from both sides and I'm done. Today we'll be doing a little more complicated of problems. So if these are too easy for you, don't worry, you got more coming. So again, I'm not going to check my work because we need to do this rather quickly. So we have pi times x, opposite of multiplying, is dividing. And remember, pi is just a number. Multiply by pi, divide by pi, those just undo each other. And actually the same thing over here. I have a pi on the top of the equation and a pi on the bottom of the equation. So they just go away, and 9 equals x. And that makes sense if we look at the original equation. 9 pi equals x pi. Yeah, x should be. Okay. Next, 0.05 times w, opposite of times, is divide. And remember, oh, if I do it to one side, I gotta do it to the other. So we have w equals 1.4 divided by 0.05, which is 28. Ooh. We need to check that one because that looks weird, really. 28 times 0.05 is indeed 1.4. Wow, okay. This is why it's important to check your work. Okay, different color. G minus 1/3. So I need to plus 1/3 to both sides of the equation. That gives me that G equals, let's see, -2/3 plus 1/3 is minus 1/3. Check me if you think I'm wrong. And hey, if I'm wrong, put it in the comments. Every once in a while you make mistakes, and mistakes are fine because it makes your brain grow. So hey, if I'm ever wrong, put it in the comments. Right, n plus 3, opposite of plus is minus. So we have n equals -7 minus 3 is negative. Alrighty, wonderful. Did you get them all right? Did you get some of them right? Hey, if you got some of them wrong, that's okay. It means your brain is growing. And we want our brains to grow. That's the whole point of school, is for our brains to grow. Alright, so that's what we did last time. Now, on to what we have for today. Today is all about 1.2, Chapter 1, Section 2, about solving multi-step equations. So, the learning target is that you know what a two-step equation is, and the success criteria is that you can solve two-step equations. So you need to know what a two-step equation is, and you need to be able to solve them using inverse operations. There's that word from yesterday, inverse operations. Remember, inverse operations are ones that undo each other. So multiplication and division, or adding and subtracting. There are others that you will learn throughout the algebra course. Okay, so let's jump right into an example. Right into it. Solve a two-step equation. So remember, we know that when it says solve, it means that eventually we want x by itself. We want x equals something. So our goal to get x by itself. Now here's the thing. In order to get x by itself, I notice that there's a 2.5 here that I want to get rid of because it's with the x, but I also have a -13 here attached to the x that I also want to get rid of. So here's the key. Sometimes you do multiplication first, and sometimes you do the -13 first. It depends. Because see how the 2.5 is like really close to the x and then the -13 is off over here? So I'm going to do the 13 first because it's not as close to the x. So I'm going to do what is least close to the x first, and then I'll move in closer to the x. So I'm going to add 13 to both sides, always to both sides. And now I'm going to draw a little line so I keep my equal sign in check. Now I have 2.5x equals, what is 2 plus 13? 15. So now look at this equation that I have right here. This looks a lot like a one-step equation because it is. So now I have 2.5 times x, opposite of times is divide. So I have x equals 15 divided by 2.5, and I get 6. X equals 6. Actually, I want to be careful with that line there, because if I draw it all the way through, it looks like x is not equal to 6, but x is equal. Now remember that we should check our answer. So 2.5x minus 13 equals 2. 2.5 times 6. I can put it in parentheses, that means times. I can also just do times 6, both work, equals 2. Now 2.5 times 6 is 15. 15 minus 13 is 2, and 2 equals 2. So boom, we were correct. Okay, so we added 13 to both sides, and then we divided by 2.5 on both sides. So we just had 2 steps to solve the problem. Well, let's make sure that we were correct. X equals, beautiful. And now you're gonna try these problems. So I would like you to pause the video and try to do these problems on your own. I'm gonna do them as soon as you unpause it. I'm gonna do the problems, but I want you to try them first, so that way you can check, do I know what I'm doing? Can I do this problem by myself? Because you don't want to move on if you don't know how to do it, right? So pause the video, try them yourself, unpause them, and let's do them together. So I have -2n plus 3 equals 9. I'm going to draw that line so that I know which sides of my equal sign I'm talking about. And again, I'm going to do what is closest to the n last. So first, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides to keep my teeter-totter from being unbalanced. That gives me negative 2n equals 9 minus 3 is 6. And now I look at this equation. I have negative 2 times n. So the opposite of times is to divide. And if I do it to one side, you gotta do it to the other. So I'll divide by negative 2 over here. These go away and I get n is equal to 6 divided by negative 2 is 3. Negative 3. Yep, positive 6, negative 2 gives me a negative. Woohoo! Did you check your answer? If you did, awesome job. And if you didn't, pause the video and do it now. And then check and see if you were right. So I have negative 2n plus 3 equals 9. Negative 2 times negative 3 plus 3 equals 9. So I have 6 plus 3 equals 9. 9 equals 9. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We are good. So n equals negative 3 is correct. Alright, next problem. I have 1/2 times c minus 11. So first I'm going to do what's furthest away from the c first. So I'm going to add 11 to both sides of the equal sign. That's why I draw this line. I'm talking about this side and this side. So some people like to add 11 here and add 11 here, but that doesn't make sense. We want to add 11 to both sides of the equal sign. So you have an 11 over here, and now you're going to add 11 over here. So both sides of the plus 11 plus 11. So this goes away. Minus 11 plus 11 just goes away. Negative 21 plus 11 equals negative 10, equal to 1/2 times c. Now, 1/2 times c means I should divide by 1/2. Wait a minute, dividing by a fraction. Ooh, that sounds ugly. You can totally divide by the fraction, totally fine. There's kind of an easier way though. When we do 1/2 times c, that is the exact same thing as c divided by 2. So if we think of it this way, now all I need to do is multiply by 2 instead of dividing by 1/2. So anytime you see a fraction times c or times the variable, you can just multiply by whatever is on the bottom of the fraction. So 1/2, 2 is on the bottom of the fraction, so let's multiply by 2. And now this 2 goes away, and this 2 goes away. Oh, but I'm unbalanced! Make sure that we multiply by 2 on the other side as well. So now, negative 10 times 2 is negative 20, which equals c. Do you believe that? Let's check our answer. Negative 21 equals 1/2 c minus 11. Excuse me. Negative 21 equals 1/2 times negative 20 minus 11. Okay. 1/2 times negative 20, 1/2 is, we have negative 21 equals negative 10 minus 11. Now negative 10 minus 11 is negative 21. We were right. So c is indeed equal to negative 20. Awesome. Did you get them right? Hey, if you did, good job. And if you didn't, your brain is going to grow way more than the people that got it right on the first try. So don't worry if you didn't get it right on the first try. Okay. All right, follow up. What is the difference? This confused me so much when I first started doing math. So I wanted to clear up the confusion. In the last example, you saw this equation where we had negative 21 equals 1/2 times c minus 11. But what happens if that 1/2 is underneath the entire thing? What happens if this equation is actually this equation? Can we do it in the same way? Can I just add 11 to both sides? What do you think? Well, so you saw how we solved this equation in the last example. Something like this. Multiply by 2 on both sides. These go away, and negative 20 equals c. Now, this problem on the right actually needs to be done differently. Remember how I said that we're going to do the thing farthest away from the variable first. So in this case, we did the minus 11 first. We added 11 to both sides. Well, here, in this example, the minus 11 is closer to the c than this 2 is. This 2 is way further away than the 2 is over here. So in this example, we have divided by 2. We're actually going to deal with this first. So here, we did the plus 11 first. And here, we're going to multiply by 2 first. Yeah, because the 2 is on the bottom, further away from the c, or from the variable. We're going to multiply by 2 first. So, if I multiply by 2 on both sides, this goes away, and I get 2 times negative 21 is negative 42 equals c minus 11. Oh, hey! This looks nice and easy, one-step equation, just like last video. So now, c minus 11, what's the opposite of minus 11? Plus 11. So see, here we added 11 first, here we're adding 11 second. So we're still adding 11, just not the first thing that we're doing. So now these go away, and I have negative 42 plus 11 equals negative 31 equals c. So see if that fraction is over the entire side of the equation. So here we just had 1/2 c minus 11. Here the fraction is just with the variable. But over here we had c minus 11 all over 2. So if everything is over 2, you're going to multiply first. But if only one thing is over 2, you're going to add first. So I wanted to make sure that you saw the difference between these two, because it really confused me when I was doing algebra. So now I want you to try. I showed you the difference between when the 2 is underneath everything versus when the 2 is just in one fraction. Now I want you to try. When should you add first? When should you multiply first? You get to decide. So pause the video and try these questions in your notes, then unpause the video and you will do them with me. So, this first problem right here, I'm going to do the thing furthest away from the variable first. So, I notice that the negative 3 is far away. And notice that the 3 is on the bottom only right here. So I don't need to multiply first. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Where's my other side? Is it here? Is that good? Oh, no, 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 no. Silly me, the equal sign's over here. So I'm going to add 3 over here, and I'm going to add 3 over here. Now that gets rid of the 3's on this side. Now I have 1/3 x equals 7 plus 3 is 10. Now remember, when I have a fraction, I have 1/3 times x, so I could divide by 1/3, and that will work, or I can multiply by the number on the bottom of the fraction. So I have a 3 on top of the fraction, and I have a 3 on bottom of the fraction, and then it just goes away. Oh no! Oh, I did it to one side of my equation, and not the other. I need to be balanced. Need to multiply by 3 on both sides. And now we have x equals 10 times 3 is 30. Let's check our answer. -3 plus 1/3 times 30 equals 7. -3 plus 10 equals 7. Yes, -3 plus 10, that is 7 equals 7. That is good. So x equals 30 was indeed correct. We were correct. Were you correct? If you were, awesome job. And if you weren't, your brain is growing. And believe me, I know how frustrating it is for somebody to tell you, you got the answer wrong? Awesome! And you're like, no, I want to get the answer right. I feel you. I feel you very much. But if you can learn to embrace when, like, you're getting things wrong, if you can say when you're getting things wrong, you know what, it's fine because my brain is growing. It helps you. Versus if you're like, I got it wrong, I hate this, I give up. Like, then you never learn. If you just give up, you never learn. So if you can look at it from the lens of, I got it wrong, but my brain is growing. That's a much better way to look at it than I hate this, I give up. Because giving up, not a good solution. Okay, next question. Oh, now, look at this. Now the 4 is under everything. I have x plus 2, all of that over 4. So now the 4 is the thing furthest away from the x. So now I need to multiply by 4 first. Because the fraction is along the whole thing, I better multiply by 4 on both sides. Both sides first. So that will get this to go away. 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom goes away. I have x plus 2 equals 10 times 4 is 40. And now x plus 2, opposite of plus 2, is minus 2. And I better do it to both sides. Goes away over here. I have x equals, 40 minus 2 is 38. X equals 38. Let's check our answer. 38 plus 2 divided by 4 equals 10. 38 plus 2 is 40 divided by 4. Yeah, 40 divided by 4 is indeed 10. 10 equals 10. So x does equal 38. Great. Last problem. 1/4 y plus 5 equals 8. We'll look at that. The 5 is the thing furthest away from the variable, and this 1/4 is only with the y. So I'm going to subtract first. Plus 5, the opposite is minus 5. Let me make sure I know which side. I'm doing it on this side and this side of the equation. So these go away, and I have 1/4 y equals 8 minus 5 is 3. Beautiful. And now that 4 is on the bottom of the fraction, which means that I need to multiply by 4 on both sides. Both sides. So y equals 3 times 4 is 12. Let's check our answer, make sure that we were right. 1/4 times 12 plus 5 equals 8. 1/4 times 12, 12 divided by 4 is 3, plus 5 equals 8. 8 equals 8. Booyah! Y does indeed equal 12. Awesome. So, now is the time that I would ask my class, do you have any questions? Obviously, I can't ask you that right now because you're watching a video. So, if you have questions, be sure to ask your teacher. Maybe re-watch this video, see if you can answer any of those questions for yourself. Call a friend, text a friend, yo, do you know how to do this? Ask your teacher. All of those things are great things to do. And hey, if you're like, I can't ask my teacher, I'm too nervous to ask my teacher, comment on this YouTube video, and maybe I can answer your question for you. But remember that questions are good. Questions are a good thing. All right. So, these are some practice problems that will help you solidify your understanding in the types of problems we just learned. This is what I would give for homework to my students, so I would recommend that you do it for yourself, but of course, I'm not making you. And last, but certainly not least, I would like to end with a launch you off for the rest of your day. You are more than who you were. You can start over anytime, like today. All of us, every single person on this planet, has done things that they really wish they hadn't have done. We've done bad things that we're embarrassed about. You are more than who you were. You are so much more than the mistakes you have made. And you can start over anytime. Say that you've made a lot of mistakes and you're kind of embarrassed about those mistakes, so you just act like you were right to make yourself feel better, but you know that you're wrong. Hey, you're more than who you were. You can stop making those mistakes today, and no matter what anybody else says, you're doing the right thing. So, you are more than who you were. If you've done bad things in the past, that's okay, we all have. As long as you're making yourself a better person in the future, your past doesn't matter. You are more than who you were. That is my launch for you today. Take it with you as you go throughout your day. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks for watching. Bye.